price on this house they're doing construction on in Alabama, and one of the undocumented immigrants that was working there was like, hell no. He went and he sat on the toppest point of this rooftop, and he was like, you guys can come and try to get me. And I tried to negotiate with him for hours. It took them 6 hours of negotiating. They tried to get up on the roof. They could not get there, and they eventually ended up giving up completely. If this is not the most resilient, funniest story about going against ICE and immigration, I don't know what is, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you follow me for more news updates like this.
Hello.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Here. Oh yeah.
Hey, loved Indy.
Hey, love Indy.
Oh my God, hey, we've got some bullshit going on.
Yeah. Let me introduce everybody. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tea Time, episode 27. I'm Andre.
Oh, tired peasant.
And we got a special guest, Left Indy. What's up, Left?
Yo. Maggot Cheese is back on her bullshit. I try to cut her a little bit of slack because of her personal issues, but it's like you two live rent free in her head.
I see that. Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, but if my kid was in the ICU, I wouldn't be like coming at people on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, being on your phone, in the waiting room or something and just, doing stuff to keep your mind occupied or whatever. But using that to try and bully people online because you can't stop being a bully, yeah, that's no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then when we tried to call her out, oops, my bad. But when we
you good.
Call her out or whatever, it's a problem. But she starts.
Yeah, I know.
She starts it.
Yeah. I mean, all this started for me last year when I was part of the same group chat as she was. And she was like, oh, I don't want anything to do with Scott Ritter because he's like convicted, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing, that there's a lot of about that case that I'm not buying. Granted, for me, it's 50-50 as to whether or not he's actually guilty of what he was convicted of. But knowing the pattern that the United States government has of railroading whistleblowers and making bullshit allegations, like what was done to Julian Assange, I do try to go based on evidence. And so far, what I've seen hasn't really passed my bullshit detector. And so that's basically the argument that I was trying to make. But then she's saying, oh, you're defending a pedophile. And I'm like, no, I'm just saying, if you're going to prove something, you have to actually provide proof. And then she couldn't do it. And then
evidence.
And she gets me booted from the group chat because I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And then when you guys invited me to the ATP Twitter group chat, I noticed she was there. I kept my mouth shut as long as possible. But then she's like, tone policing Andre, telling him, what he is and isn't allowed to say. And then,
we should have believed you. Like, we should have.
Yeah.
We're sorry. We apologize.
Let me end this live. I want to apologize, man. You were right about her the whole time.
Yeah.
You warned me about this bitch, man.
Well, I wouldn't say I warned her so much as I just kind of let you know because because it's like,
you open up
this is what's happening, and then I figure, okay, whatever people do with that information is up to them. Okay, so it's kind of like with the ACP bullshit going on with the Revolutionary Blackout Network, and he's got ACP people out to lie about stuff, and then he doesn't even really give any pushback. And it's like, dude, I mean, you're not giving these guys nearly as much pushback as you do to, like, say, Brianna Joy Gray, and calling her part of the professional managerial class, which technically she is, but she's actually probably the least offensive member. In fact, actually one of the left's strongest allies on media.
Yeah.
There's a much larger platform than the rest of us do. So she can get her message out in ways that frankly exceed our own. And then she's like consistently good on this stuff. So it's not like she's being shady. I mean, she's not afraid to call people out when they start with their bullshit, which I respect. Right. It's like, there are people who will never go back on her show again because they got their feelings butthurt because she called them out.
Right. Yeah. Brianna Joy Gray evolved a lot. She came a long way. She used to be kind of like on the vote Democrat side, but she realized that the Democratic Party ain't shit, and
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, so it's really just yeah. So yeah, Casu Marzu, as I call her, because she tries to call herself another Italian cheese, and I'm like, no, you're the Sardinian maggot cheese.
Don't forget, she's Palestinian. She's Palestinian too.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And then she says she's not Palestinian.
Yeah, she just usurps another identity, to suit whatever whims of the moment she has. I mean, it's like she's racist towards Andre, calling him laughing as he's called a token, and
then she said the N-word in a space, and then she quickly changed her pronouns the next day.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like, and then she claims to be African to try and give herself credibility to say, yeah, I can say the N-word because I'm African, and it's like, no, you're not African, you're Sicilian.
Basically, trying to play the
Yeah.
victim and like,
Yeah. And Indy, one thing I like about you, man, you come with receipts, man. Like
Yeah,
you
well,
shut that
she
shit
makes
down.
it easy because she posts everything on Twitter, and she forgets, we can save screen captures.
Yeah, screenshot.
Yeah.
Yes.
She started it first. I was minding my own business. I really was.
Yeah,
she started to tag me in my aid. I'm getting thousands
what kind of
dollars.
policing online bully that. Yeah, I mean, she reminds me a lot of those assholes like Dreaded J or some of that ilk, or even some of the crowd on Blue Sky, where they find any excuse they can to try and label someone racist or bigoted, and they go to extraordinary lengths and spend an inordinate amount of time trying to go through everything and try and read into every single syllable.
Yeah.
And it's really quite insane, actually, too. I mean, I'm talking like levels of insanity that just, wow.
Yeah, and then she turns around and plays the victim and tags me and says, oh, even if Liz and everybody's bullying me, I still hope she gets her goal. Like, just turns it around and
it's like, well, first of all, it's like,
who bullying you?
Don't dish it out if you can't take it back. All right. I mean,
exactly.
We're all supposed to be adults. And if you're going to be an asshole online to people, keep in mind, they can be assholes right back. No one's under any obligation.
Exactly.
To be civil to people who go out of their way to be uncivil. All right. I had the same problem, actually, during the early 2000s when I was joining the old internet political discussion forums. There was this one place that it's called Liberal Forum, and it started off actually owned by liberals, like the son of Charlie Rangel, I think it was, started it, and they had some moderators out there. The idea was they wanted to have civil discussions with the extreme right wing, which was impossible because the extreme right wing did nothing but hurl insults and make false accusations. And if you remember the Bush-Cheney era, where any perceived sympathy for Iraqis or Afghan citizens being slaughtered by U.S. bombs, you were considered a terrorist sympathizer. And so, they made all these wild claims or over gay marriage. It was like, oh, if you support gay marriage and you support incest and pedophilia, it's like, whoa. Where did that all come from? No one's asking for any of that shit. No one's asking to be able to marry their sibling or their kids or whatever. It's or dogs. It's like, what the... That is 100% pure protection. Okay, wow. But I'm the one who got banned because I called these people out. And it's like, no, you have to be civil. That's like, no. You do not have to be civil to people who lie to you, because that's actually an insult to your intelligence, all right? The people who lie to you assume that you're too stupid to understand that you're being lied to, or that you don't have such things as search engines. I mean, Google's,
Google's free.
Back in the day, it was LexisNexis, or if you're in academic circles like I am, there's JSTOR. I just posted a thread earlier today about some of the history of Sicily and how it was conquered over the millennia.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, so it's not that there's no African influence on Sicily. There is, but it's many thousands of years removed, both genetically and culturally, and it's mostly European, like Indo-European, Arabic, but that doesn't give you cause to call yourself Palestinian or Jewish. All right?
Right.
Yeah, there was a Jewish
president. But then says
during the
she
Middle
never said that.
Ages, Jews migrated there. In fact, they were actually the only people not to conquer anyone, but that was only because they had centuries before been kicked out of their former kingdom by
I
the
hope she's
Romans because they
watching.
got stupid
Hi,
and
bitch.
rebelled. Yeah, so it's
Hey,
like,
Provolone. Hope you watching, bitch.
yeah, so
Hippopotamus.
it's really kind of silly, because medieval Jews didn't have a standing army or a massive nation state to sweep in and conquer and colonize the area, so that's the only reason they didn't conquer and colonize. But
You
if
can
they
turn the
had all
comments
that,
on
they
too.
absolutely would have conquered the place and tried to ethnically cleanse the region. But yeah, it was just yeah, it's like all these different identities that Kasu Marzu tries to usurp just to try and justify saying things
You really
that,
can't keep up. It's autistic too, remember?
See,
oh
autistic,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's the newest one.
self-diagnosed. Self-diagnosis is bullshit. I mean, yeah, I mean, it helps in terms of saying, okay, I have these symptoms. Let me consult an actual doctor who knows about this stuff and can actually confirm or deny using the appropriate tests. But my gut is telling me this idiot just self-diagnosed and doesn't have an actual bona fide diagnosis. And
Speaking of self,
my younger brother and my mother both display signs of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where it's like anything anyone else has, they have to get it 10 times worse.
oh wow.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So my younger brother, after years calling me autistic, even though I've never been tested and never expressed any signs of autism, well, finally he decided, oh yeah, now I'm autistic.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden.
He turns
Yeah.
50 in a couple of months. Okay. I turned 51, but
Okay.
never at any point did anyone think to get me diagnosed as autistic. Now, I did
Yeah.
get a false diagnosis by my parents. They took me to a doctor and they diagnosed me with Tourette's, which I didn't actually have. But they saw me, having tics and twitches from, that was my bodily reaction from uh, years of abuse at home and at school that was, combining to result in, eye twitches and other stuff that was going on. But, I'm pretty sure that I didn't have Tourette's, but they had me on medication for it for years. And I was like, yeah. And then it was causing more problems that one is actually solving. But, as far as I know, I don't have autism or anything like that. Neither does my younger brother. And frankly, I think it's kind of bullshit that, you're in response to being called a dumb cunt and stupid and a moron. I mean that. I don't use the R word anymore because obviously I've got to be sensitive to people who are suffering from
Yeah, me
that
too.
mental
Yeah.
disability, and that's a genuine thing. So it's like, okay, fine, I've got no problem dropping the R word, but being stupid or a moron or whatever, that is not necessarily to mean that you have some kind of mental illness.
Yeah, exactly.
That is
That's
being
going too
willfully
far.
stupid and uninformed.
That's going too far, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
oh,
yeah, and it gets to the
What you?
point where it's like every time you say it, you're put on a list, like say Blue Sky. If you use neo pronouns, you're called a transphobe and secretly put on a list to try and kill your engagement on the platform.
Yeah.
And Blue
What
Sky's
you saying, Leah?
trust and safety team is basically absent without leave because the head of trust and safety apparently the moment he came on board, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not actually going to do anything."
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So targeted harassment and deliberately, I mean, there's a movement on Blue Sky to list any Palestinian trying to escape Gaza through fundraisers to try and get the money to Vamoose. They're put on lists of scammers and whatnot because I mean, they're people who are not English speakers primarily. They're trying to escape a war zone
Yeah.
with their families, and they're trying to raise funds to do that any way they can, and they don't actually understand Western social media culture. So yeah, they're insistent because they're desperate.
Yeah.
They're going to call them scammers
Yeah.
because
Exactly. Exactly.
right.
I hate when
Thank
people
you.
say that. Like, they're not scammers. Okay, they could be overwhelming. They're, always in your DMs, this and that. But I still do it. I try not to ignore anybody. Like, I'm not always on Twitter, but when I am, well, I'm on it every day, but like not all hours of the day. But
Yeah, not every hour. Yeah.
I try to I retweet always. I may not always have time to quote tweet, but I do it. But then there's people that talk shit about other people gaining, trying to get mutual aid for something, but they never share any Palestinian mutual aid, but call themselves Palestinian.
Yeah, well, you know what? The other day, someone made a fake account of me.
Me too.
What?
Yeah, and
damn.
Yeah, I shared it in group chat on Twitter, but yeah, so some impersonator, and I've been trying to get it reported because
Me too.
if I try to report it
Oh yeah,
myself,
I
they
remember
have
you,
to
Liz.
for all
Yeah.
my identifying info, and I'm like, I'm not giving Muskrat my state ID or anything else.
Yeah, I tried to
Exactly.
do that too, but it kept freezing. Actually, someone this morning is impersonating me, and they have 0 followers. So, like, I'm not being a dick, but I'm telling people, I'm like, you guys, it's common sense. It's not me. Like,
Yeah,
they
it's like
have 0.
just created this month, 0
Yeah.
followers, 1 account following, only 3 posts max.
Yeah, and it's like someone saying,
Yeah.
send me money, and like in an email. I
Yeah,
read that
and different
person's.
email addresses to send
Yeah,
to
maybe it's
PayPal
the
to.
same
It's like,
one.
first of all, I don't
Yeah,
post
PayPal.
my email address on social media.
Yeah, same. And the tag is horror
Yeah.
girl, but with an extra L. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I see that one.
in my case,
Yeah.
it's an underscore after my user handle. So, um, which is really stupid. I mean, it's like, how do you not know that? Oh, and plus this account automatically blocked me too.
oh, me
Like
too. Are we not
before I
is it
even
the same
right. So
one?
all right, so
Coincidence.
I suspect
Of
this is not a
course.
bot. It's actually a human being behind it, and I have my suspicions as to who it might be, but it's without proof. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to end up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shit like this is just so infantile, though. I mean, it's like all you have to do is just hit the block button, move on. This constant need to get up in people's business and try and go on the attack because you're right. I mean, it's like just because your fundraiser isn't getting any donations. Do you have any idea? I mean,
Not my fault.
it's like
Not my fault. Hey, I didn't tell you to fucking call me a token and
yeah. I mean, it's like
say shit.
She does. She tried to
my
self.
last GoFundMe donation was over a month ago.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
tried to. She tried to self-diagnose me.
Yeah.
Like
I
she
remember that.
said, there's like screenshots involved or whatnot, but I'm not going to say who leaked the information to me. But from another group chat, she was trying to say that I have bipolar disorder.
Yeah, well, my mother
Yeah,
and
I
my
don't.
brother definitely do, but I lucked out taking after my dad and getting his temperament. But yeah, yeah. I mean, my younger brother is actually diagnosed bipolar disorder. I found his medication years ago when he was living with the family and for a brief period in between apartments because his boyfriend, I guess, had kicked him out at that point, and he was between apartments before moving back out, and he left one of his empty medication bottles behind. So I looked it up for like what it treats, and I was like, okay, yeah, this kind of tracks with all the shit that he's put me through over the years. But my mother never got diagnosed. But based on her behavior patterns, I'm assuming, like my younger brother, that she's bipolar.
Yeah, and there's like nothing wrong with being bipolar. It's just she was just trying to self-diagnose me, and like, who the hell are you to try to do that?
Medical license?
I freaking hate that. It's like, dude, you're online, all right? I mean, there's a reason why in court cases, diagnosing someone from afar without even having any interaction. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Johnny Depp was successful in his defamation case against Amber Heard, because some of her witnesses, including supposed psychologists, I forget which, they were trying to diagnose him with all these mental disorders and whatnot. And it's like, but they had never actually consulted with him in person.
Yeah.
And yet they were making all this testimony. And it's like any lawyer worth his or her salt will tear that apart. And that's actually what happened. because
Yeah.
you don't have any actual upfront experience with this person to try and make a legitimate diagnosis. You don't know that person's situation, the history. You don't have medical records to go by.
Exactly. I'm like, who the
Or
hell are
medical
you?
license. Like God, like come on, man.
So
Because
Ridiculous.
I'm overly emotional.
So this
but
is
that's just
really,
me.
So this is really hilarious. That she presumes to self-diagnose and then try and diagnose others based on what? Because of a Twitter beef that you started? Come on.
Yeah, I was literally minding my own business here, and then you're just hating on me because I'm getting a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
That's right now. It's just it's like it's like a rent
It's
payment.
rent.
I'm still trying to get up there.
Yeah, she got a
So instead of hating, like, I don't do that to other people's aids. Like, there's other people that are in my DMs like asking, please retweet their mutual aid. I do it. I don't go into other people's shit and be like, oh, well, I see you're getting traction. If she was getting traction, if she was getting, like, her goals getting up there, I wouldn't care, because I just scroll on by. It ain't my business, and she's not my friend, so I wouldn't be happy, or I wouldn't care. I'm like, okay, I guess
Me too.
good for you.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't
I think it might help her case and help her get donations if, one, she wasn't such a irredeemable cunt to everyone,
bitch,
and two, if she wasn't posting selfies of her ghetto ass press-on nails.
Yeah, look at these. I got no fucking nails. I got fucking
Ain't got nothing.
Poor ass fucking nails,
right? And actually saying that
got man hands.
Yeah, and actually saying that they cost her $90 at the same time she's trying to raise $100.
Well, she got that with her mama settlement money. She got that with her mama settlement money. That's what happened.
Right.
She
And then
brought
not
a whole
even
ass car with that settlement money too.
Yeah, and regardless of whatever amount she got, I mean, if she only got a couple grand, fine, whatever. But that doesn't change that she's asking people for money.
Their hard-earned
and then
cash.
Posting
hard-earned money.
Right. It's
I
like
want to hate at someone that literally just works a full-time job, makes $17, and trying to get out of my situation with rent that's literally killing me, and it's all I have. Well, I pay rent and my car insurance and my car payment, but literally after that, I got nothing. So if I actually had cheaper rent, that would change my life dramatically. And she has a roommate. So
they call her roommate garbage.
She's calling her roommate garbage. Yeah, it's like, well, okay. First of all, one, you better not have
because he beats her up or something. That's what I heard.
It's like, well, first of all, you better hope that the apartment is in the lease is in your name, Kasu Marzu, and that you can kick him out, because if the lease is in the roommate's name and the roommate decides, okay, you're more trouble than you're worth. Then
anybody saying shit?
Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah, back quiet as a mouse. What you
saying,
Mike?
How many people are watching?
Yeah, but
110.
But yeah, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one to lecture people on their purchases, because there was an article quite a while back saying it's like most financial advice is worthless when you're poor, and so if she's getting like a latte at say Caribou Coffee or Starbucks or whatever, or something from McDonald's, okay, fine, I can understand that. I'm not going to complain. But a $90 nail job, you're asking people for $100 to feed your kids, dude. Yeah, especially fake nails and ones that look so bad. I mean,
one that look very
they look like shit, horrible.
Man. Yeah,
they look horrible. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's like, first of all, you overpaid, and second, what were
you
doing?
Looks like those press-on nails that you get.
At cheap press-on nails you get from Walmart. Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like Walmart.
Your kid's hungry. Need 90. Man. Now I gotta ask you both of you guys something. Now you call them out on their bullshit, like I did. Miss Cheese, I said that you got settlement money from your mama, but you still ask for mutual aid. But Saturday, the bitch gonna give me my money back, all my money back. Now, does that make her guilty? Is it?
Well, I would say, goodbye to that any hope of getting that money back, because I doubt it'll happen. But
no, I got it back. I got it back. She gave it back to me.
Oh, really? Okay, well.
Yeah. Does that make her guilty? Does that?
Well,
She's not
I'll
denying
give her
it.
credit for it.
Yeah, yeah. But what you
Yeah,
think, Lee? What you think?
I mean, she's not
What you?
denying it.
Yeah, no. I mean,
She's
why you
just
get my
calling
money
you a
back?
bully. Like what we're
Yeah,
saying right now is gonna probably be so many tweets and shit about us.
yeah. She finna go the fuck off, man. I know it. I don't give a fuck.
You
Cause
started
tomorrow.
it, bitch. Mind your own fucking business. You started it.
But wait, but if you want, if you didn't get no money from your mama, look, I
I ain't
understand
got
if
a
she.
mama with settlement money. My
Hey,
mama's broke
look,
as fuck.
look. I understand if she got that shit years ago. Like, money has no value. And then
Oh, poor ass bitch.
but you gonna get the money and still ask for mutual aid. Like, this is why people don't trust mutual aid. People like
Mm-hmm.
her in the arena, bitch. Like I got scammed from two people. One
Oh,
of them
that
gave my
arena
money
bitch. I
back.
fucking that damn cunt.
I'm
Yeah.
like, bro. I'm like, I don't know about y'all, man. Y'all can still retweet mutual aid, but I'm not doing it no more. I'm
I still
only
do
gonna
it.
I'm only gonna retweet Palestinians that are verified. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I
Like,
just
I
retweet
retweet
any
Mike and
Palestinian.
you,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Like Mike and you, that's it. That's like I can't do it no more, y'all.
Shit, I would have,
Y'all like,
I would have retweeted Provolone shit if she didn't start shit with me. Like I retweet everybody's shit.
yeah. Remember
Like I
last month
said,
in the you
yeah, I
remember
don't
last
hate.
month?
Yeah, I don't hate on people. Like I don't care
I
what
don't either.
amount of money they're getting, whatever cause they're doing, whatever they're trying to do. I just retweet it. It's none of my business. I'm here to support. That's how it's supposed to be. As a so-called leftist, that people call themselves
Oh
left,
God, people
but they're really
pe-
not.
people people use that word too much. It's a lot of cosplaying on the
And
left
then
on
we
Twitter,
have, and then we have
online.
people. Yeah, and then we have
yeah.
people
Like
like,
the
oh, you're going
ACP
into the
is a good
KKK.
example of cosplaying as leftists. I mean, how do you, one, never having read any theory whatsoever, and then B, you're cozying up to MAGA clowns and the grifters like Jimmy Doorknob or Glenn Greenpilled or Haxon Stinkle.
Oh
Hey
yeah, that
Mike.
motherfucker.
Hey Mike. We thinking about inviting one member of the ACP on there, not Jackson Stinkle, but some member that's on there. I want you to be on there, man. I want you to push back on their ass. Like, I'm gonna
Oh
ask
yeah.
some
Well,
questions too.
yeah. Well, when you've got a political party that actually like Haxon Stinkle, who I call him Haxon because he's a hack, and yeah, but when you've got Haxon Stinkle, making tweets, kind of praising African nations that pass laws mandating the death penalty for LGBT people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got nothing
Jackson
but
he
praise
knows
for
the
that.
problem.
It's like no. First of all, there is no being a leftist if you're praising the extermination of an entire group of people simply
Oh
because you
yeah,
find that their lives icky.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
That's true.
It's like no
Yeah.
one's tried to trans their kids or turn them gay. It's like they're born gay or trans. All right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
there's a documentary.
Intersexes thing too.
That's
Yeah,
what I tell my kids. I'm like, oh well, I love you guys no matter
Yeah.
yeah,
who you
That's
are.
what I told my cousin
yeah.
too.
Well, it's part of
Like,
this ideology that says it's a conscious choice to be that, and you can choose not to be that. And it's like no.
No, it's
I,
something that you
yeah,
feel.
there was this documentary called years ago. It was called Gender Revolution, hosted by Katie Couric, that actually explained using actual science how human biology isn't nearly as black and white as we were taught in grade school. Because we basically get the Cliff Notes version of biology in grade school, because most of us are not going to go on to become biologists.
No, I
right.
People
didn't
who
like
do,
biology.
they study this, for quite a number of years, and so they came to the realization that depending on your chromosomal makeup and hormone distribution during pregnancy, your brain could become wired more female and still have an outwardly male body,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you resolve this? All right, well, years past, you were considered mentally ill if you claimed to be like a woman in a man's body or vice versa. Well, now
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
understand,
Back in
that it
60s.
actually is true that, you might actually have a female brain in a male body and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. So what are the alternatives? You can either try and alter the brain, which would effectively lobotomize the patient. That's not an option. Or you alter the body to conform to how the brain is wired,
Mm-hmm.
which you might find
Makes sense.
distasteful, but it's a lot less harmful than forcing that person to hide who he or she is.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly. That's true, man. Exactly. 100%.
And it's certainly a hell of a lot better than, performing what amounts to a lobotomy on someone, trying to force that person's brain to conform to their outward appearance. I mean, the sheer stupidity is bad enough, but the sheer cruelty is what does it
that's
for me.
cruel.
It just
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it just pisses me off to no end. And then let me see if I can look this up. I'm trying to.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
All right, guys. While he's looking that up, be sure to like the video. It helps us out in the algorithm. If you're on YouTube and Rumble, and also too, guys, leave a comment. Like, I know one person watching. Hey,
Leave
I
a
know you got something
comment.
to say.
Ask us
Yeah.
anything. We won't
Yeah.
bite.
Yeah. uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like,
I'm
yeah,
going to paste a
tomorrow.
link. Yeah, I'm going to paste a link here
Yeah.
in the private chat here. But yeah, if you want to ever stream
You
that,
should,
I think the only place you can see it right now is on Facebook. But if you can get a physical copy of it, that would actually be great, because right now with the changes to Facebook, they're pulling down pro LGBTQ content, and they're
damn.
no longer listing hate speech on there against certain minority groups as hate speech. So which just goes to show you how shallow and empty a lot of the pandering done by a lot of corporations. I mean, Disney is one of the worst offenders, but so is Facebook and Google, because you know that their alleged support for minority groups is superficial when they so easily drop it in order to pander to whomever is in power at any given time.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like if you're
Yeah,
really
that's
in
true.
support of that, you'd be consistent in it. It's like Disney will have its Pride events, but will be funding anti-LGBT.
Yeah, they only do it for Pride
functions.
Month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then of course there's its programming, which again, heavy on tokenism. But if you want actual representation, well, you have to make the characters likable and sympathetic. All right, depicting them as mean-spirited people, or chronically incompetent yet succeeding anyway, just because. I mean, it's like, no, sorry, you're not convincing me that you genuinely care about representation, and that you're not just putting on appearances so you can avoid being criticized,
True.
because you're donating money to politicians who pass laws trying to outlaw particular
Yeah.
Exactly.
groups of people.
Yeah. Yeah. But isn't it Disney like, you know, like giving money or getting a tax break from a red state that's like the governor is anti-LGBTQ, so
Who's
that's
Yeah,
that's all you
yeah,
need
the
to know right
state
there
of
too.
Florida. Yeah,
DeSantis? My stupid
Yeah.
governor? Hate him.
Yeah. The sanctimonious. Yes.
I
So
fucking hate him. Talk about a dictator. People are like, oh
oh
my
my
god,
God.
Ohio and other states, they're scary. Have you ever been to Florida? DeSantis is like pretty
Oh yeah.
bad, and I've been in the thick of it.
Yeah, my
yeah, Ron DeSeptic.
yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, so yeah. I'm telling you, man, like I got one more video to release towards that motherfucker, then I'm done. Then I'm gonna take a break
When
from
is it
Twitter for a
being
day.
released?
After this stream go off. Like I'm just so sick and
Oh.
tired, man. Like I thought the bitch blocked me. I think she did initially. Then she unblocked me, and then she did the shit she did.
She
Yeah, she
unblocked you?
unblocked me. Yeah, she
She didn't
unblocked
see
me
it.
too. But yeah, I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I don't want you coming onto my account. I blocked her, so
Yeah.
she can't get. But she still goes on there because Muskrat did unfortunately undo the block feature.
I know, which
To a second step
sucks.
that you can.
I hate.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's really like, I mean, you can't actually engage with people, but people can still take screen captures and copy
Yeah.
and paste from there to add alt text. I mean, it's got its ups and downs for that. Yeah, it does mean that right-wing extremists who say shit online can no longer hide from their critics. But at the same time, it does mean that right-wingers can continue to harass the left and incite violence.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I like the disgruntled fan that Liz talks about. I can see her tweets, even though she blocked me.
I
So
think she
yeah.
unblocked you, so so you would see the tag that she did on me or something,
Oh, that makes
probably.
sense. Yeah. But you know what though, too, Liz? I think the reason why she tagged you because she knew that one of us was gonna see it, me or Mike gonna see it, and then it'll get her more traction, more eyeballs on her. Cause you know that
Yeah,
she's
I was
getting
kind of
money from her
stupid to
son.
I should never responded in a sense, but
I
that
should have
pisses
never
me off
shared it.
though. But
Yeah, I should have never shared it. I should have just ignored it. I'm like, yeah. But
Well,
I was so
at some
mad.
point, someone was going to share it just to say, hey, this is the shit that's being talked about you. And because if you notice your follower count dropping or anything, because I get people
Oh,
blocking me for shit that I said months or years ago that,
me too.
and I didn't even notice because one, I
yeah,
don't give a shit. I'm not
me
out
either.
there for likes or clicks or to
Yeah,
uh,
it's like high
artificially
Yeah,
increase
school.
my follower count. It's
Sometimes
like
it's
if
like that.
people agree
yeah.
with me,
People get
fine. If
mad
they
on.
don't like me, they can block me, whatever, fine. Um,
Yeah,
but one thing I absolutely do not tolerate and will not stand quietly by and let it happen unchallenged is when people start attacking people for no reason. It's like when people were going after Naomi Wu a couple years ago, to the point where she had to leave Twitter
oh wow.
because they were
Hmm.
calling her all sorts of nasty names and exposed her as LGBT. And that was actually Vice that did it. So I'm like, okay, blocking Vice now. But she was literally getting the local authorities, arresting her and holding her for entire lengths of time, and then she had to step away from her main Twitter account as a result.
Yeah,
And a lot of that,
yeah.
and a lot of the continuing harassment is from people who, much like Kasu Marzu,
Casu Marzu.
who, yeah, who
Oh
yeah, well,
god.
she behaves like maggot. She's, that's what I'll call her. I'm not calling her the other thing. Um,
Casu Marzu. Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Kazumatsu.
yeah, I am not above being petty and giving petty nicknames to people who piss me off. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh
Your
yeah.
but,
nicknames. Your
but
nicknames are
Rightfully
elite.
so.
yeah, so because people tell me, "Oh, that's infantile," that I call Caligula Drumpf. It's like, bitch, if you're more worried about his feelings than you are about what he's doing, fuck off.
You
But
fucking over your social security, like who
yeah,
gives a fuck?
but yeah, it's like but there are people who like I said, they go out of their way to find anything and anything that could be construed as racism or whatever, and go on the attack to try and get a person shut off of Twitter or even doxxed. I mean, Keffels, when she was going after Kiwi Farms, Judith J and that person's clique of trolls were going after her, trying to take her down. At the same time, she was trying to take down a violently transphobic hate group that was actually inciting violence and got her swatted,
Oh, wow.
actually, and also
Damn.
doxed her. So, and not that I don't have my own criticisms of Keffels. She has said some pretty shady stuff, especially with regards to Israel Palestine, and also her criticism of communists calling us tankies because we oppose United States policy towards China and Russia. It's like I don't have to be a Putin puppet or a Xi Jinping stooge to criticize what my country is doing. All right,
Exactly.
I don't know those world leaders.
I
I
get hell
really
for that,
don't care
man.
about them, and I don't even like Putin because he's a bigoted asshole.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
That doesn't mean
yeah.
that I
Putin a piece of
obsess
shit.
over him
But
24/7 and call him the Great Satan.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, hey, if I'm gonna call Putin a piece of shit, like Trump and Biden and Obama, like Bush, all they
They're piece of
bullshit.
shits too.
But shit
Yeah,
too.
and as much as I don't like Putin, he's not the one trying to take over the entire planet and drive us to the brink of nuclear war. That's the United States.
And also
Exactly.
too, Russia has free healthcare, free education, free paid maternity leave. So what the fuck
Shit,
the United
yeah.
States
What
can
would
talk
they
about Russia?
have?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah. Well, the
like,
interesting thing about Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union, during the 1990s, the United States and its Western vassals basically looted Russia. That they stole a lot of its gold, basically sold off a lot of public infrastructure to private companies, which fortunately Russia has been taking back over the years. But Putin is not a communist. He is not trying to bring back the Soviet Union. He doesn't want to bring it back. He was actually part of the Boris Yeltsin camp. Now, just to give a bit of backstory to all this, because in order to understand what's going on, you have to understand, what happened before, especially during the 1980s when Mikhail Gorbachev became the Soviet premier in the 1980s, and he was trying to save the Soviet Union by kind of easing up on a lot of its more draconian policies at home, especially with regards to freedom of speech, with regards to economic policies, because there was, bread lines and a lot of stuff. But, a lot of that was due to economic sanctions and blockade is not the word I'm looking for, or maybe it's blockades, but basically economic sanctions and tariffs that were combining with the U.S. Drawing the Soviet Union into the Afghan war during the 1980s that causes it to overspend on its military. Basically, all to bring about its collapse. So Gorbachev was trying to institute some reforms, but they were kind of too little too late. And on top of that, Boris Yeltsin, whose family had lost a lot during the Russian Revolution and lost a lot of family holdings to Stalin, he basically rose up in the ranks of the Soviet government with the idea that, okay, I'm going to undermine it from within. And so his political faction was chiefly responsible for the breakup of the Soviet Union and for handing over its resources to the United States and Western companies. So when Putin was underneath Yeltsin, but in Yeltsin's last term, basically he was on the phone with Bill Clinton, begging him not to further expand NATO. And Clinton was like, no, we're expanding it, and there's not a damn thing you're going to do about it. You will sign this agreement that will let us expand NATO right up to your border. And Putin was actually in on that phone call. He was actually in the room looking at his boss, humiliate himself. And he decided, you know what? I am not going to let myself, or more importantly, Russia, be in that position ever again. So when he became the Soviet prime minister and then president, and he tends to alternate between the two because of the way the Soviet presidential election system is set up, where you can only serve for so long as president, and then you have to step down. But you can still run again. It's just that you can't serve more than a set number of terms consecutively. So in theory, once his term as president is done, he can anoint the handpick successor, and then he becomes a prime minister. Which actually did happen, but he was always part of that Yeltsin camp that saw Russia as being something that should be, a Russian-centric federation, but not communist.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like communism, they thought it was a failure, and also it kind of took away a lot of holdings that their families had before the Russian Revolution. So. That there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that Putin was part of, but he was more a part of the Yeltsin camp, not necessarily the Gorbachev camp. If Gorbachev had won out in the late 80s and early 90s and preserved the Soviet Union, I doubt Vladimir Putin would be where he is today. But they were so hell-bent on bringing about the Soviet Union's collapse that they didn't think ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Putin is that he kind of understood, look, you oligarchs, here in Russia, I'll leave you alone under one condition. You do not try to get involved in politics. If you try and get involved in politics, I'm taking you down. And so far, that's held up. But, all these neoconservatives who think that Russia will collapse into chaos and oblivion if Putin dies or is forced out of power, none of them seem to realize that Putin is actually the most moderate out of all the politicians right now in Russia who have any chance in hell of replacing him. because the ones who are in line to replace him after he steps down are even more hawkish than he is, and would just as soon nuke Kiev as discuss any kind of
Yeah,
peace agreement.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So
Yep.
maybe don't be so eager to see Putin leave power, because if he does, his replacement may not be the guy you want in there.
Yeah.
If he's one of the ones who is more hawkish,
Yeah. Might be real World War Three.
don't say you weren't told.
Shit.
Maybe soon.
Hell yeah. All right,
Yeah,
man. All right, guys. I gotta show y'all this screenshot right here, man. Now, see, the people like this is the reason why I hate Twitter so much, man. Like this John dude says, I have an alarming amount of moots with this
I
dude.
blocked that person.
Getting real tired of so-called leftists with more than 1K followers not checking who the fuck they associate with. Man, I swear to God, man. When I first seen this, I think Left Indy. I think you. No, I think Liz
yeah,
screenshotted this.
yeah.
Man,
I screenshot it and said,
yeah,
look, no one's forcing you to follow this guy. You can block him.
Also, I just had a quick thought. Isn't her profile tag contradicting? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Miss?
yeah, Miss.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Calls
yeah,
yourself Miss Provolone
My
and the girl from Flushing.
Miss. Yeah, Miss Provolone, but you're not her. She her.
And
You
then
they
changed
them.
your pronouns after
Take Miss off.
going out on the racist tirade in that space. So it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, who do you think? I mean, first of all, if you're going to claim to be non-binary, be consistent, all right? If you're
Yeah,
gender fluid and you
consistent.
bounce between male and female or whatever, that's one thing, okay?
Yeah,
But the thing is, they're the same ass clowns who call you transphobic if you use neopronouns, which are actually used by a lot of transgender people and non-binary who
yeah,
don't like being pluralized. So it's and it is gender neutral. It's just a singular gender neutral personal pronoun.
yeah.
But if you don't
Exactly.
use, but if you don't refer to someone in the plural, even though that person's an individual, then you get called a transphobe. It's like, I mean, first of all, it's stupid, and you're actually engaging in internalized transphobia by trying to gatekeep what other trans people and non-binary people are allowed to call themselves. It's like,
Exactly.
because it's not like a monolith where there's like any universal agreed upon set of personal pronouns. I mean, that's one of the issues that I think is something that needs to be addressed within the trans and non-binary communities. Try and get something consistent that the general public can
Yeah,
use. But trying to degrade grammar by forcing everyone to pluralize you, it's like, because first of all, that's pronoun.
She's really full of herself right there.
Yeah.
full of shit, man. Just full of
I
shit.
have an alarming amount of moots with this dude. Getting real tired of so-called leftists and more than blah, 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 blah. Like, I blocked that person too. The person is just one of her simps.
Yeah, and they call me a simp for defending Liz. I've been calling everything out of the book, man. Y'all just don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it's wild.
one of Maggot Cheese's Sims was calling you a token, and she was laughing about it and kind of agreeing.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Like the dumb
that drove
cunt
me
she
crazy.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, even if you didn't say it first directly, but you still use the hard N word in a space,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and people
In a
actually heard
space.
that, and people actually heard that and heard you say
3
it,
people
and
did.
you're-
Several
yeah.
people did.
I,
So
I-
how are
I
you
actually
going
heard it too. I
You know-
was there.
claim that you never actually said it? Well, first of all,
but
you went along with it, and then
Oh, I
she
was there
actually
when she
doubled
said
down when I
it too.
called her
I
out.
was in that space. It was
Yeah.
for real. I'm not kidding. I'm not lying. I
I
was
mean,
one
I
of the
don't-
people.
I don't know how black people, like black leftists, still fuck with this woman. Like after that, like I know a couple of people that
Well,
her
there's a
friend,
lot
I
of
guess.
well, Dreaded J, for example, or Sweetest J, or whatever that idiot is calling herself, or it started off as an account called Kunta J, and of course, if you use any of the several user handles, because I don't keep up on all of them, so I just go by the last one that I'm familiar with. But it's like, oh, you're dead naming me because you used an old user handle. Well, first of all, I'm not dead naming you because, one, I'm not using your legal name. I don't know
Exactly.
I don't care what your legal name is.
Me
I'm
either. I
simply
don't give a
using
fuck.
the last known social media user profile that you had. when I last saw you doing your bullshit. It's like, first of all, don't redefine dead naming just to suit your petty little bullshit. Okay, that's
She just likes to cosplay everything in the book. It's getting old and tiring.
Yeah,
taking advantage of people that actually give mutual aid. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of other people that do that as well. I hate to say this, guys. I know I might sound like a real asshole. I might get canceled for this, but maybe like we need to start vetting people, man. Like I don't know, like it's a lot of provolones out there, a lot of arenas out there, man. Like,
well, there are certain behavioral patterns. Whenever if you see someone tweeting something, why is X person doing or posting or sharing this?
Yeah.
Then that's a sign that this is not someone you want to associate with, because right off the bat, that person is about to try and accuse a person being quoted of being racist, whether or not it's warranted or transphobic or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. If it's not, that's a pretty good sign that this is someone you should be wary of, because the pattern is one of serial harassment, dogpiling, doxing.
She started it.
Yeah.
And then she goes around and tags me again. She's like, well, Liz does need to get out of her situation, even though she's a bully. Like, bitch, you fucking started it first, you fucking cunt. Like,
yeah.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you fucking started it, you fucking cunt. Like, come on now.
Exactly, man.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, okay, you should be happy for me. Like, I'm
should be happy.
Yeah.
Like we all online should be happy for each other, helping each other. Like,
yeah, I'm just trying. Like, and I'm not just sitting on my ass. Like, I'm working. I'm telling I use Twitter as a diary. So what people see is what they get. Like, this is the real tired peasant. This is the real. This is me. I don't hide anything. And when I'm asking people for help, I'm trying to work towards a goal to get out of a situation. I'll have a roommate. Like, I'm trying to put money down, like to put some roots down to actually actually have a life, because now,
rents are rising rather astronomically here in Ohio, especially like places like Cuyahoga, Columbus, Toledo, but they're still lower than in Florida, which is good.
Yeah, like, and it's my rent is only gonna go up, and I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I pay almost $1,600 a month. It's killing me. A friend of mine has a 1-bedroom apartment with her 2 small children, and like the oldest is 7, the youngest is like 4 now. But yeah, it's like there's no privacy because they have to share. There's no privacy.
Your children, and then
pretty sure they had more rooms. And
now with the cuts to HUD and everything,
that would be a dream.
It's anyone's guess as to whether or not
that'd be perfect
to get a house. Now, another friend of mine who lives in Massachusetts moved recently. She's got 3 kids. Oldest is in college.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 are 9 and 7 respectively, and the youngest just turned 7 this year. The other one is actually autistic, and very obviously autistic, and it's taken many years just to get it to a level where she can actually start to socialize and interact normally with other kids. But it's still quite a struggle, and
it's hard
for Cassie Marzu to claim to be autistic as both a shield to hide behind and a club with which to beat people over the head.
Exactly.
And she's probably self-diagnosed, but meantime, I know people who are actually autistic.
And I think she's trying to put down brown. I think she's trying to put down brown voices. Like, as a brown woman, I'm asking and pleading people for help. Like,
and then she's calling Liz white. It's like, first of all, Liz is not white.
She's not white.
I'm brown.
Cassie Marzu was white. Okay.
Yeah, I'm freaking
her arrest
brown.
record apparently listed her as white. So, that was insane looking at it. Somebody sent me a screenshot of her arrest record, which apparently you could look up prior to a certain point So I was sent the screen capture, and so I blotted out the name and any other identifying information. But it's like, okay, so you're listed as white.
Mm-hmm. She's
and,
white.
But you know what?
White.
Do you
It's
want to know
okay to
what
be white. Be proud of what
most
you
Ain't
are.
no wrong white.
actors
Hey.
have
My partner's
before Trump
white.
took
My
office?
kids are half white.
Yeah. So, but do you know what most surveys and arrest records and other any form of records involving how people identify? You know what they have? They let you mark, which is the most close, the closest thing to what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's white.
You can mark as white, not Hispanic, or white Hispanic, or Hispanic, or black,
Black Hispanic.
and some depending on the location will actually let you select multiple. She selected
Mhm.
white.
Hell,
That's what
now
she
she'll
did.
now she'll select multiple now.
Now,
She'll select
granted, I
all them
don't live in
motherfuckers.
Nassau County, New York. I don't know what
She's Mayo. Nothing
demographic
wrong with that.
information
Ain't
is
no
on
wrong
their
being.
arrest records, but seriously, if you're going to call yourself African, but you look
And
lily white,
she also said, "I don't know my culture." Okay.
Okay.
yeah,
I
I
speak
know.
and understand Spanish. Because I guess she's being what is it called, like stereotypical because my voice, the way I talk, I don't talk
Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
ethnically. That's what she's
Yeah.
talking about. I don't talk ethnically.
Yeah, apparently because your accent is Floridian, not obviously Hispanic. It's like
Yeah, I've been living in Florida since I was a kid, so this is just how I talk.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
how stupid do you have to be to not understand? How accents arise.
In New Jersey, it was different because I was raised with my grandmother till the age of 9, so all I spoke was mostly Spanish to her because and I spoke English in school with other people, but that's how I communicated with her. So I talked differently, but then when I came here, like I kind of lost that, but I still understand
I mean,
it.
I
It
remember.
happens.
I remember during the early 2000s when Madonna was married to what's his name? Not Guy Pearce, but someone else.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just cannot. I can't.
Yeah, the director.
Yeah.
But she was in England for like 10 years, picked up the accent, and then Bill O'Reilly on his Fox Noise program is blasting her for speaking in an English accent. Well, considering she was married to an Englishman and living in England for
It
over a
happens.
decade,
Yeah.
you pick
Yeah,
up the
you're a
accent
doc.
without even realizing it.
You're a doc.
Yeah, and I know my culture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got some
one of
comments.
her minions.
Oh, this. No, that's who this is.
I know who that is. Yeah, that's that.
Me too.
No, this is
Who was in that
this is
one
the
group
person
chat,
that doesn't believe in COVID and all that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, follow up the group chat after I wouldn't stop posting accurate COVID information.
And
Hey,
provolone
guy.
simp.
Hey, guy.
This is the person that lives in Canada, but it's complaining about isolation and shit. Yeah, you got to isolate during COVID. I had to fucking work.
Me too.
I could not
So did I.
isolate.
I couldn't isolate either. Like,
Yeah, I was lucky that after 2020 I was able to get work from home jobs, but those are long gone. I mean,
yeah.
But he's saying the definition of white expands and contracts according to the needs of those seeking to define it. The Irish were not white until they were, which is true. Right up until about, in the United States, Bacon's Rebellion, which was basically the indentured servants who were predominantly Irish and English.
Oh, my kids are half Irish.
Yeah, but the indentured servitude actually was about as close to slavery as you could get in the United States until actual chattel slavery took off, because even though technically your contract were like 7 or 10 years or whatever the period of servitude was, that did not mean that the contract holder could not add years onto that, for perceived violations of the contract. And a lot of the judges were bought and paid for by property owners So even if you went before the court to try and argue your rights, you didn't have all that many. But it eventually got to the point where the indentured servants rose up, and this is called Bacon's Rebellion, and that kind of put the fear of God into into a lot of the plantation owners. So what they did was they decided, okay, well, we're going to step up importing black Africans from Africa to replace the indentured servants.
Okay.
And the black because an indentured servant who runs away can pass for white. And unless you've got a photograph or a really accurate drawing to let people know who that person looked like, you could blend into society and you could go undetected for weeks, months, years, decades. Especially if you escaped far enough west where nobody cared who you were, as long as you kept your head down and didn't cause any trouble. But after Bacon's Rebellion, all that changed, and so it became much more attractive to import African slaves from the continent because African slavery had been going on for quite some time in the Caribbean, but it was more or less limited to that in the Caribbean, South America, Central America. But once the Irish started asserting their independence, that's when they started being given white status. The Irish potato famine was a deliberate attempt at genocide by the British to basically starve the Irish either into craven submission or into extermination. Didn't work, obviously, but eventually the Irish and then later the Italians were given white status because they demanded it. And same thing happened with the Slavics in the early 20th century. If you were Slavic and you came to the United States, you were not looked upon very favorably because you were considered, much like the Irish and Italians before them, Slavics were considered the scum of the white race until they weren't anymore. Because when it comes to whiteness, as long as you assimilate into the culture and throw people of color under the bus, then you get to join the white club. That's what happened to my Polish ancestors, my Hungarian ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah, it says, long story short, once the Irish joined the police in large numbers, they were suddenly white enough. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go in about a few minutes because I got one last video to post on Twitter. And
Me
then
too.
take a
I
long
have to
hiatus from. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to walk the dog shortly.
All right.
No,
but
what kind of dog do you have?
Well, it's my aunt's dog,
sorry.
actually. I live with my aunt for the time being. But yeah, she's got this. I'm pretty sure it's a Hamilton Stover. I could be wrong. She says it's a Beagle mix. But yeah, thanks for sharing my fundraiser. As you can see, I've not had a donation in quite a while. $70 out of $700 goal. But
everybody, please help Left Indy.
yeah, thank you.
Even $1. I'm
trying to
put $1. Any amount.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my TEFL certificate so I can teach English as a foreign language, because there are jobs overseas, but there are also remote jobs in case I can't make the trip. Because logistically, I would need someplace to store all my belongings because my aunt will basically tell me I'm not welcome back if I go overseas. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. He's dissing.
Right. Well,
wow, what a nice guy. He's so sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
At least he be honest.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Fortunately, I don't care about things, but anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to make a long story short, I visited my girlfriend and my fiance in the Philippines last year, and I was told that I would have to move out because
that's nice, man.
No one defies my aunt, but
yeah.
But
I've
been wanting to get out of the country anyway for a while now because job prospects here for someone over 50 and no vehicle and string of temporary and seasonal jobs on his resume. Doesn't have a very easy time finding gainful employment, contrary to what my aunt thinks. So, but if I can get a job teaching overseas, there is still quite a demand for English language skills, and also the cost of living is lower in other countries. So, if I get paid, what I was making last year, but I'm in a country where the cost of living is half of what it would be here, then yeah, that actually works out for
That makes sense.
better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been wanting to teach for quite some time. One of the reasons why I went to grad school was because I wanted to become a professor.
Oh God, man, you gonna make this stream 2 hours, bro? Tell you.
Yeah. The guy
Look
who
what he said.
denies COVID is actually a thing is calling us arrogant.
I'm arrogant because protecting people. I'm arrogant for
Yeah,
saying
it's
protect people.
because we actually
COVID is a
bother
real
to look
thing. It's
shit
good
up.
to mask. I worked during COVID. My store never closed, so I was in the thick of it. I knew somebody that died from COVID. A worker actually died from COVID. Yeah, he died, and a couple months later, he was supposed to come into a shift, and he croaked. He kicked the bucket.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah. He said he don't deny it, but you are in an absolute about it. Time will
Because
tell.
you
Yeah,
live in
yeah.
Canada, you got free healthcare. You
Bro,
got a little bit
bro,
easier.
they gave y'all monthly stimulus checks. What the fuck? Like, shut, man. Oh,
Yeah, well, we
I don't
got
know
like
you, but yeah,
we got one-time checks that were means tested.
yeah, yeah. Like my homeboy, he got a check, but it went to child support, so he couldn't even spend his. Like, yeah, mean tested like a motherfucker,
Yeah, if it's up to
man.
me, if you want to really stop spreading this virus, if you want to pay people to stay home, you need to do monthly universal basic income, not under $2,500 a month, because rents are high, but you also need to put caps on rent, freeze on mortgages, pay people to stay home so they can meet their basic needs. And while we're staying home and not spreading the virus, then you start installing HEPA air filtration, far UVC lights, improving the ventilation system for more air exchanges with the outdoors.
Yeah,
And then you enforce a masking on top of that, so you've got layered mitigations. We actually drove a species of flu virus extinct during those 2 months 5 years ago, where we all pretended to
yeah. I remember that. I
just by.
remember that.
So if we
I
could do
remember
it
that.
just in 2 months, imagine what we could do to COVID in 6 months by not spreading the virus.
Yeah,
And then once the
exactly.
pandemic is actually over, because we've given the existing vaccines time enough to do their jobs and not letting
Oh
mutate,
shit, they got
then
losing
we
his
can
mind,
start
y'all.
easing up
Look
on
at this.
restrictions and get back to what was
Man,
considered
look,
normal. But
look at this
this
shit.
absolutist position that any mitigation at all is somehow authoritarian. It's like, dude, look up Jacobson v. Massachusetts.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, the virus that damages your brain and gives you early onset dementia is a pretty big freaking threat to deal with. Okay, if you're too sick or brain damaged to be able to organize in your own defense,
Oh my
I mean,
god,
that's actually
bro.
what the system wants.
You know what, man?
COVID is
Hey,
real, bro.
bro. My one of my cousins got COVID, and I tell you, the way she is now compared to like last year, like yeah, it definitely did some brain damage. So like you call me a germaphobe all the fuck you want, like, but like all right, bro.
Yeah,
Look what he call
you're not
us.
going to
Look
end
at
the
this.
pandemic by spreading a virus that attacks and weakens the immune system to the point. I mean, why do you think flu, RSV, norovirus, polio, measles? Why do you think all these are coming back and becoming worse? It's because people's immune
Oh
systems
god,
aren't as strong as they were before because they keep getting COVID infections.
exactly,
But
bro.
sure, big pharma shows. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, big pharma
Oh
shoes. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But actually, no, I think you're big pharma shrills because the the government wants us to keep going like COVID never like they want us to believe that COVID left. So we're doing you're doing them a
yeah, the vaccine
favor.
only bullshit, which is,
You're
I mean,
Man,
vaccine's only one part of layered mitigations. All right,
yeah.
vaccination is good. I got the Novavax vaccines, although I need to get updated, but I can't because I don't longer have Medicaid. But vaccination is only one part of the equation. Okay, when you combine all the mitigation, all right, for an extended period of time, long enough to actually prevent the virus from spreading so it can't keep mutating, yeah, you will drive it to extinction because it no longer has any host to spread to, and it dies out. So then once the pandemic is truly over, yeah, then you can start to ease up on mitigations. But we had a chance to actually ensure that not only would the pandemic truly end, but also prevent other pandemics by doing what I was saying, which is like far UVC, air filtration, improve ventilation, clean the indoor air so that people aren't constantly breathing in this shit and crippling themselves.
And
Oh yeah, the bird flu too. That's something scary to think about.
Okay.
This person got mad. Before you say, this person got mad because I was trying to tell people the dangers, like how to protect your cats from bird flu. And this person
you want to know why people are pivoting to bird flu now? It's because it's devastating our poultry crop.
Eggs are $25, bro.
Yeah, and eggs are $25. Okay, eggs are used to make vaccines. First
eggs
of all,
are fucking a luxury.
But they're in bread, they're in bakery, they're in, they're used as an emulsifier. They're in so much stuff that you don't even realize. So it's not just eggs becoming more expensive; it's everything that uses eggs that becomes more expensive.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
But Spanish flu actually is believed now to have originated on a military hog farm. Because pigs share something like 65% of their DNA with humans. So, and stuff that infects pigs can mutate and leap to humans. And so when we entered the First World War, we carried it to Europe, and the low estimate of the death toll from Spanish flu was 25 million worldwide over a period of about 10 years. Actual estimates put it anywhere between 50 and 100 million worldwide before vaccines were finally.
How you draw so good?
Help. And then people who were crippled, like people who didn't die but were left permanently disabled by Spanish flu, ended up going on public assistance. And the Nazis, when they came to power, one of the first groups they targeted for extermination were the people who had been disabled by Spanish flu, whom they saw as a burden on society. Never mind that they created the burden by spreading the virus.
So yeah, man. I can't believe it's 5 years into this pandemic and people are still arguing over.
I know.
And all the conspiracy-minded morons out there.
I try to stay away from shit like this, man. I ain't got time.
Yeah, and the people trying to blame China for the pandemic, claiming it's a bioweapon that's simultaneously no worse than the common cold. Released from a laboratory. It's like, well, first of all, ask yourself, who was it who first claimed it came from a laboratory? It originated with Trump's CDC.
What's exactly.
And did he fund gain-of-function research?
Right. I think why they actually made the accusation to begin with, because Trump is part of the Washington neoconservative establishment, the anti-China faction of that establishment that wants to topple China first before destroying Russia. So their goal in accusing China of leaking it from a laboratory was to geopolitically weaken and isolate it so as to more easily take it down.
He has wings.
Yeah. Man, this guy right here, man.
Nihilo or whatever his name is, he's a classic example of someone who has been psyoped, but it seems everyone else
is psyoped. Yeah, he's on the left. Like, this is the shit on the left.
He's on the fake left. Okay, he's a libertarian. All right.
I know that. It's true. It's coming true right here. Yeah.
Oh, bullshit. Yeah. He's saying Trump and RFK Jr. are not anti-vax. How long has Kennedy been on the anti-vax bandwagon?
Yeah, like a couple of years, decades now. Yeah. Kennedy the same one.
Because he is so full of bullshit.
Yeah, Kennedy is so hypocritical, man. Ain't Kennedy the same one that said that vaccines cause autism? Like, come on.
Yeah, and also claiming that the Gardasil vaccine was causing all these deaths, and it turned out, that the study that was implying that it did was concluding from other causes.
Yeah.
I need it.
So, all right.
This is why I say, these conspiracy-minded morons are the death of the left.
They definitely left
on every level.
Yeah, this is why
9/11 truthers who guaranteed that we'll
I don't
never be
mess
able
up
to
my
bring
phone.
the Shrub or his gargoyle or any members of their regime to justice for letting 9/11 happen. It's because it spread all these years, almost a quarter century now, lying and claiming it was controlled detonation where there's no evidence for it.
Exactly, man. Man, I'm telling you, boy. I don't know how y'all do argue with these anti-COVID motherfuckers, but yeah, I
I
can't do
just
it.
shut them
Like
down. I mean,
it's
I
too
don't
much.
tolerate
It's
them.
too
And
much,
You
man.
send them the facts, and then
Yeah,
they
you
won't.
good. Hey, Liz, you good. Mike, you good. That's why I consider y'all the top of the network. So y'all could tolerate more things than me.
Hell,
I
you're the
don't
one
have the
bringing them all
patience.
together. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you are.
yeah,
You need to give yourself
yeah.
more credit, friend.
yeah, dude.
Nah, y'all, man, Mike, man, you can always come with facts
Okay,
though,
that's enough. No
and
phone.
and Liz, she brings it. So yeah. Anyway, let's share Liz's fundraiser now. The one that so many people are jealous of for some reason. So
Yeah,
I'm
please.
just a girl.
yeah. So
Seriously, I just need to get
Yeah,
out of my
yeah. Please
situation.
help Liz get out of Florida.
It's getting
yeah,
worse. I don't have community here. 1 bedroom. I'm paying almost $1,600 with just me and my 2 kids, and it's getting cramped. And
Yeah,
you know,
it's living on your own is hard enough in this economy, but living on your own with no community to fall back on, that's even tougher.
yeah, it's hard. And yeah, like I just think to myself, like, if my rent if my rent was actually decent, then I could do a lot more things, like get more stuff for my kids, like actually get groceries. I can actually donate to people. Like, this rent that I'm paying now, it's putting my whole life it's putting me in a chokehold. And that's literally all I'm paying for like working, and that's it. And it's getting to the point
people don't
where
realize the
it's
sheer
not
cost of moving.
sustainable.
It's not, and people don't even realize the sheer cost of moving, because it's not just the first month's rent plus deposit. You gotta hire the moving truck. You gotta pack up all your belongings. You
Yeah,
gotta pay for storage if you don't have a place to put your stuff in before you move in.
Hey,
And that,
Liz. If you need help moving, I can me and my cousin down there, I can go down to Florida with my cousin. We can help you move and stuff. So
that'd be
if you
cool.
need,
Yeah, I could talk. Yeah, could help me in
okay,
Kyber.
yeah. Kyber, I ain't gonna dox him or nothing, but so how? Well, we'll get to that later. I ain't gonna get into all that. But yeah, so yeah, y'all donate just
A
$1,
dollar.
guys,
Dollar. I always
and
tell
also
people, like, just a simple dollar. A simple dollar will do. I tell people $1, any small amount, because that always leads to big amounts. Like, if like a lot of people just donated $1, just whatever change you may not want to use, just please send it my way.
yeah,
And don't be
like
embarrassed. Like, some people are embarrassed to send small amounts. No, I welcome anything. I'm a genuine,
even if
genuine.
it's just $1 or $2 or something, that's
It adds.
that's $1 or
adds up.
$2 that the fundraiser didn't have before. So
Yeah, that's what mutual aid is all about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that
that's
was all
the way it
about.
works.
Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, guys, all the links to Mike's mutual aid, Liz's mutual aid, all that is in the links on YouTube and Rumble. So y'all have no excuse. I did the easy work. You just click on it, and if you ain't got no money, like I always say, share it with your friends and family. Maybe they got $20 laying around somewhere. Like, just little things like that. Can add it up. And also too, before we go, because I gotta go, because I got some
me too.
shit to
Yeah, I
handle.
gotta
But
go too.
yeah, like I appreciate y'all coming in hard and heavy with Liz's mutual aid. Like
Thank
me
you.
and
Thank
Liz,
like
man, we did not expect that.
No, I
Like a
did not.
thousand
It's
dollars.
still been a
Like
month. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't even 2 weeks. Y'all came in hard and heavy. $100,
Yes.
$20,
No, I greatly
$1.
appreciate. No, I'm like, I don't want to cry, but I
Yeah,
greatly appreciate it. And please, don't let the fun die. Let's
yeah,
keep
y'all,
on.
please. Yeah, y'all, don't let people that change their pronouns every fucking day dictate y'all for donating too, because there ain't nothing but that just a infiltrator, a psyop. It's the left. The left is a
And you
fucking.
know
The
what?
Western left is a joke.
If you would like, if you don't, I'm not gonna be an ass or whatever. You know, you can donate to her too. That's perfectly fine. That's
Yeah.
why, you know, you
Yeah, I don't tell
donated
people how to spend their money because
Yeah, me either.
I'm
exactly.
not any kind of saint.
Me either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I ain't gonna never tell people not to donate to her. I
that's
understand she
fine.
got a kid and stuff like that. I don't hate her. I'm gonna tell you, I don't hate the woman. I don't know the woman. I met her online. I heard
Exactly.
stuff
So
about
she
her.
just needs to mind her
I,
own business. And
she just need to just
Yeah,
either
just
take care of your
stop being an ass
child,
to my
like
friends,
do.
and I'll stop calling you out. But that's
Me too.
exactly.
if you
Same
want.
here. Like
So
But if you want to keep picking
same.
away at them, Kazumarzu, yeah, I'll keep calling you out because you're a bully who deserves to be called out.
So you guys,
exactly.
yeah. So we're really
Just leave
really
Andre and
trying
Liz
to get
alone.
out
That's
of
all you have to
Florida.
do, and I'll leave you to whatever delusions you want to keep peddling, and you can lie to whoever you want about your identity. But
Yeah, I
just
don't.
leave
Yeah,
Andre and Liz alone.
Yeah.
And I'll
So
leave
you
you.
guys, like, I'm a real person, real issues, trying to get out of Florida. So you guys, please, like, any amount, $1 or $2 or whatnot. You know,
yeah, guys.
it's
Yeah,
funny. She looks at the donation funds. She's like, it's going up, Mom. So
yeah,
let's make it
yeah,
happen, please.
yeah, yeah, y'all. Just anything helps. Help Mike too. You know.
Help Mike
You
too.
know.
Yes, help left and
Yeah, yeah.
a dollar
So
spreads. Oops.
okay, guys. Any
All
last
right, I
words
gotta
before we
go.
head out? All right.
I don't know. Pretty good.
But Mike, what about you, Mike?
Okay, famous last words. Okay, Stockton Rush was crushed to learn that his submersible wasn't all that.
Oh, okay. That's
And
cool.
fuck Israel always. And
Yeah,
free
fuck
Palestine.
Israel. Yeah.
And
All right, guys.
yeah.
That wraps up episode 27 of Tea Time. I'm Andre, Ty Peasant, left Indy. We signing out. Oh yeah, and by the way, before I go, fuck Benjamin Netanyahu, bitch ass motherfucker.